Chasing 100%, if I'd known how hard this would be, I probably wouldn't have set off. But this is a story about us trying to turn a single-use plastic bottle into these eyeglasses. And I'll give you one piece of advice. Never shake hands with little kids because it will change the course of your life. So, who are we? This is the management team. You've got me, Jocelyn, my wife, Harry, and Archie. Archie's a real little character, and you'll find out more about Archie. What we do, well, we never actually set out to make sunglasses. That was not the intention. The intention is this, 3 very, very clear words: untrash the planet. That's our purpose. It's not our impact statement, a really, really clever system. To make it out of one bottle, we couldn't do traditional metal hinges. That's not the way forward. But we entered some pretty significant international awards, and we actually won. Tesla has won in a previous year. I think Dyson has won in a previous year. So this was the moment we shook hands. You've just heard a great story about Trisati, amazing brand, right? Very established brand. We're at the start of our journey. But this is me and my kids, and they're trying to teach me how to play Pokemon. Have no bloody idea how to play Pokemon. We're really upset about the plastic problem, and they were like, Mum, Dad, can we fix it? Now, every idea should solve a problem. And the little buggers, right? Kids are amazing. They'd been on YouTube and they said, Dad, there's 500 billion bottles sold or made a year, 7 to 12% get recycled, and 1 million every minute are drunk and thrown away. It's a massive problem, Dad. So what skills do you need? This is pretty funny because we sat there with some butcher's paper and I wrote down some things for them, trying to put them off. No, we're not going to do this. Commercial recycling, supply chain management, ocean cleanups. So this is our business plan. And we scribbled these down. How much have we spent, Dad? How much of our inheritance? But we spent half a Golf GTI. This is how I explain it to the kids. For design, about a Golf and a quarter. And for the manufacturing to base one, I don't know how many cars are there, some dyslexic, but let's say 9. So quite a lot of Golf GTIs could be parked outside our little humble home. This is Harry and I failing every weekend. We failed over 2,500 times. Failure is a weird space to be in because it can get you down. But the one thing that got me through and got Tom, who was in the factory, who owns the factory, and got the kids through and got Josh through, was that purpose: untrash the planet. And that's the robot. And what was really cool, the kids were in the factory, and they said that robot should be called after the first person that bought the first pair of sunglasses, called Hugh. So that's Hugh the robot. Kids are awesome, right? Because they just break things down and they make things fun. They're also a pain in the backside sometimes, but it's fun. I wanted to just share one thing with you, which I think sets us apart as a brand, and we are very, very young. Very young. Citizen power. Right? I can't do it on my own. There's some pretty influential people out there today listening. You can do things. And Harry and I have presented to the leadership team of Tesla, and Harry was very funny, saying, you know, do we get any commission off this guy that bought a car? And I rang the guy that bought the Tesla and said, why did you buy a Tesla? They're a lot of money. And he said, your glasses got me thinking. It got me thinking about everything in my life. And so for me, that's a win. That's a camper van on the right. When I was a kid, I would be driving around the Lake District with my granddad in a camper van. He'd go, quick, quick, kids, wave. And we'd see this other camper van coming, and we'd get a wave back or a flash of the lights, and everyone would just erupt into this little moment of joy. So I said to the kids, wouldn't it be amazing if we could get some sunglasses with inbuilt joy? And that little stripe there is something that you can recognize. You can see them on my glasses here, right? 40 meters away, you can see a good citizen walking towards you. This is one of my favorite interactions. I thought this guy was pretty rude when I first read the email. Hi, my name's Drew. I bought some Palm Beach Mono Sunnies. I require a right arm to be placed. Please advise next steps. Cheers. So I wrote back going, no problem. Can I ask how they broke? Because you want to know how your product breaks. And his response was just priceless. I fell off a beach ball in the pool after riding it for 9 seconds and landed face first on the bottom of the pool. The record currently stands. So I wrote back to Drew and said, you're a bloody legend. Within 2 days, he had a new arm. He's like, no, you're a legend because now I've got my glasses fixed, right? And that's about a customer who was already in love with you, falling back in love with you again, right? I think that's pretty powerful. This is Marcus, our first hire. This has got to be the weirdest job interview for Marcus because he got interviewed by Harry, who's 9. There's been some highlights. There's been a lot of really, really rubbish times, but there's been some highlights. Everyone in this room will know Selfridges. I'm British. I now live in Sydney, but I know Selfridges. In here, in this room, there would be people that have probably, maybe your brand has had a window there, or maybe it's a dream to have a window there. You know how hard it is. We got a window. I know we just had Sebastian, who was at Prada. Prada's next door to us. We all know who Prada is. I bet Prada were like, who the hell are these good citizens guys, like? So we had a window next to them for 3 months. Fantastic, right? So Forbes wrote about us. Monocle, we celebrated our year with a kind of a 15-minute interview on their business show, and I love Harry and I, we presented at the UN. He did a live Q&A. It's one of the funniest moments, explaining to the school office that he's actually leaving for an hour because he's addressing the United Nations. But I want to thank you, right, for your time, because I believe it's my generation, your generation too. And I know this is getting filmed, so I want to say to Harry and Archie, remember how tough it's been? And Dad's been a bit grumpy, and Mum and Dad have talked about business too much at the dinner table. Look where we're stood. Look who we're talking to, right? Things will change. So I think with some support from us adults, the next generation can make the change.